Hello and welcome to this episode of Smart Home Charge, and I'm with the Mercedes eVito. This van gets a bit of a bad rap really, and I want to find out, is it actually a niche product and misunderstood, or was it a massive missed opportunity by Mercedes? Let's take a look. I have a confession. I am not a van driver. Now I know you're both shocked and devastated. Surely an ankle sock, loafer wearing Radio 4 listener has helmed many a light commercial vehicle. Well, sadly not. I have, however, spoken to my electrician colleagues who obviously use a van on a daily basis. But even though I've done that, I am not an expert on vans still, and I can't really compare or see how the eVito stacks up against other vehicles in this category. What I would suggest is, if you want a detailed review on what the eVito is like in terms of payload, capacity, loading, that sort of thing, go and find a Vito review first and then come back and watch this one, because what I will be talking about is what it's like to live with an electric van, because what I do know is what it's like to use an electric car and charge them up. So I will be able to comment on whether this is really feasible. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Range. What range does this van have? Now I know many EV advocates out there will be saying, oh, too much is made of range, it doesn't matter, people don't drive as far as they think they do, and that's true. I agree completely and utterly with that. But that's really for electric cars. Electric van drivers, well, their driving range on a daily basis is going to be different, really will vary. Plus, I know for a fact that people out there will still be saying, what's the range on that thing? It's a big heavy vehicle, how far does it go? So I'll tell you. 93 miles. Yeah, so it's not that far really. The eVito range is not exactly class leading, but Mercedes says that the average daily mileage for van drivers across Europe is no more than 60 miles, so you should have plenty, right? Well, the problem isn't with the range of the vehicle as such. The problem is its lack of rapid charging capability, and that drastically reduces where you can go with this vehicle. If this had rapid charging, then all you would need to do is stop off at a rapid charger somewhere, plug in for 10 minutes, and that would be enough to get you home. But it doesn't have that. So your coverage area, so to speak, is drastically reduced. If you do plug in with a standard 7.4 kilowatt charger at home or in the office, then it's going to take around 6 hours to charge from empty to full. Don't forget, if you are using this van in the sort of urban areas it's designed for, so low mileage, slow driving, then you won't be using all of the battery. Therefore, charging it overnight won't take that long, you'll just be topping it up. Plus, if you are charging it overnight, don't forget, you won't be there to see it charge. When you wake up in the morning, it will be full. So don't worry about that so much. And of course, if you do want to compare home or office charge points, then you can go to our website, smarthomecharge.co.uk, where you can find a charge point at the price, style, with the features that you want. And if you need any more advice, then please feel free to speak to our support team. So what's it like to drive? The eVito reclaims a lot of goodwill here actually. Now, as you'd expect with no noisy diesel engine, it's a lot quieter to drive, and I've actually found it really, really pleasant and comfortable in the 2 weeks I've had it. In terms of feel, some people will tell you that EVs feel digital and the same as any other electric car. Well, that's categorically untrue. I've driven enough of them to know that they all have their own character, and they do feel different. My daily EV has that instant response and torque you expect from an electric motor. The eVito doesn't really have that. Instead, the power delivery is a lot more progressive. The acceleration is what I would say velvety smooth. It's really nice actually. And I think Mercedes have done this intentionally to make sure that van drivers who are new to electric vehicles, it doesn't feel so alien to them. And it feels like the other vans. Mercedes also tell me the other reason for that is obviously you've got stuff in the back, and when you put your foot down, you don't want an instant response. You don't want the van jerking around. There are 3 driving modes in the eVito. You get Eco, Eco Plus, and Comfort. They pretty much do what they sound like they do. Comfort is the most responsive. It's the easiest to use, I suppose. Eco mode is pretty much the normal mode, and that's what I have it in most of the time. There's plenty of power there when you need it. Eco Plus will make savings where it can, and it will increase your range a bit, but it might mean that it's not as comfortable to be in the cabin, and the response on the accelerator isn't quite the same either. You also get 4 levels of regenerative braking in this. So you get D-, D, D+, and D++. So for those of you that don't know, regen braking just means that when you lift off the accelerator, there's some active deceleration going on, not with the friction brakes, but with the motors involved. Effectively, you can recover some of the energy back into the batteries as the car decelerates. Now, if you have it in D++, that's effectively a coasting mode. There's no active deceleration going on. That's useful if you're on a downward slope or something like that. D+ is obviously a little bit more deceleration. Then you've got the normal version, and then D- is the harshest setting. So what will happen then is you let go of the accelerator and the brake lights will come on, and the car will actually slow down quite quickly. There are 2 trim levels for the eVito. You get Pure and Progressive. They're both actually well equipped, to be honest. You get a lot of features as standard. For example, you get aircon as standard, driver's heated seat, and you get accident and breakdown management in both trims too. All pretty handy stuff. Personally, I would go for the Pure trim level and just option a few extras. For example, the in-car entertainment is a bit lackluster as standard. You get Audio 10 in the Pure trim level, and you get Audio 15 in the Progressive. Both aren't that great, if I'm honest. What I would do is option the Audio 40 system, which we've got here. Again, that's not that great either, but what it does give you is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And once you plug in your iPhone or Android phone, whatever it is, then it transforms the in-car entertainment, and importantly, you get to use the sat-nav on your phone, which is better than what's built into the Mercedes as standard. In terms of pricing, the Pure trim starts from around £39,000, and that's before the £8,000 grant. So if you are purchasing the van, then there's a good deal to be had if you want. You know, electric vans really are going to shake up the commercial vehicle sector. They are coming. It is going to happen. And that's actually because they make economical sense. And I've written an article on our website all about why they do make economical sense. So I'll leave a link in the description. But what I will say is the move to electric does add in a new factor when you're considering a van. The move to electric means you're probably going to choose by battery size first. So depending on how far you actually need to go on a daily basis, realistically, might influence whether you go for one van or another. Or perhaps, if there's a larger battery pack available, you upgrade to the bigger version. If you're still not sure about electric vans or even electric vehicles and if they're for you, then Mercedes actually have an app that is aimed at yourself. It's called the eVan Ready app, and what it does is it will monitor your existing journeys in your existing van or vehicle. So that data is then fed back to you. It tells you how many miles you actually do each day and each week, and then it will explain to you in the app what that would have been like in the eVito. For example, how many miles you used, or how much of the battery capacity you might have used, how many charges you would need each day or each week. So that app is definitely worth checking out, and I'll also leave a link in the description below where you can download it. So I've been trying to work out in the 2 weeks I've had this van, who is the eVito for? Who would it suit? Who would want to buy it? The problem with the eVito isn't with itself really, or its lack of rapid charging or anything like that. It's a really capable van. The problem it has is the new competition that's on the way, or that's already here. For example, the Vauxhall Vivaro E. You can get that with the right battery pack with a range of up to 205 miles. Or you can even pick a stalwart such as the Nissan ENV 200. Both are really capable vehicles, both are competitively priced, they have a longer range, and they can get rapid charging, which this doesn't. So it begs the question, why would you choose this over those? Well, if you want a Mercedes, of course. If you want a high quality, low range vehicle and you do lots of slow urban driving and you cover a small area, then the eVito is a great choice. I really like it. I can't recommend it enough in some ways. There's nothing bad I can say about it other than the rapid charging. I've actually really enjoyed driving the eVito. It's been really pleasant. But with prices starting around £39,000 before the £8,000 grant anyway, I've been wondering, have Mercedes priced themselves out of a market that they could have easily dominated? It's a good van, but maybe there's some better ones out there. Hopefully you found this review helpful, and if you do think that the eVito or one of the other Mercedes electric vans are for you and will work for you, then please check out the Intercounty van website. They loaned us this for 2 weeks, so I'm very grateful to them for that. And if you haven't done so already, give us a thumbs up down below and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.